everything golden.
Finding your greatest love, your highest adventures, the joy that brings you into the paradise life that you've always wanted to be living. It all starts with you and going deep inside.
Everything golden.
Featuring Francesca Rose and David Starr, where miracles come true every episode. Here are your hosts.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Welcome to Everything Golden.
Everything's golden.
And speaking of golden, we have a golden guest, Mirantha O'Rourke. And she is
Yay.
resilient, amazing. And it's amazing that you're still on Earth and you're not on a ship yet. I guess they just keep meeting
No, well,
with
that's
you.
not true because I have been on a ship recently. So
I know. I'm just saying,
I
like,
come and
they
go.
keep attuning you, and
They
you're
do.
like, why do you keep bringing me back to Earth?
Yeah, I want to know too. Why am I on the bus to Earth all the damn time when I didn't agree to that whatsoever, I'm sure. But now here I am.
This
So thank you for having me.
ET phenomenon is our pleasure. It is our pleasure that you're here. This ET phenomenon is something that I do believe is going to increase and increase. And I am curious with the contact that you're happening is you said it Arcturians or were there some other?
Well, I've had others over the last 3 years. It started with Pleiadian. They were the first to literally walk through my house. That was my very, actually might be just over that, 3.5 years, maybe. But they walked straight through my house, and I'd not had any idea of anything like that before.
You see them
like
with
in
your
reality.
own two. You see them with your own two eyes, or do you see them
Yes.
interdimensionally? No, you
Well,
see them.
all of, but yeah, no, physically as well.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
so
amazing.
I've like all the telepathy and the usual connection that we normally have as empaths. I've had all that, but this
Mhm.
was like, that was the first physical. And I was just lying there, you just sort of lie in a peaceful state. You're not really asleep. You're just like trying to go. They always seem to come at nighttime. And next minute I had like Pleiadians standing in a V. Which is really funny. I was like, oh, they're very, very direct. But they were glowing, like their light was so bright that they themselves. So as I look at you guys, I saw them physically, but they were glowing from the inside out. And they're the first ones that came in. And I'm like, okay, obviously
Isn't
something's
that
happening
interesting?
here.
Glowing from the inside out. It's kind of like
Mhm.
the heart. It glows in a way, and then
It
like,
does.
and so
It
maybe
pulsates as well.
like
Mm.
when we ascend, we glow.
We
All this
do
work we're
glow.
doing,
We
we're
do.
magical
We
glow
become little
sticks.
plasma balls. We literally are like plasma inside. We glisten and carry on as well. And they were like that, and everything glistened. Actually, I remember when we were talking a while ago, David, where you told me that they were talking to you, and they came in as we were doing a session, and they came in a suit that was all shimmery and glowy looking, and
Let's
to
talk
me
about
they
those
seemed
galactic
conscious.
suits. Let's talk about them because like
They're very revealing too, by the way. Like there's no hiding nothing, like
what are you
they're pretty
staring at
sexy.
though? What are you staring at?
I'm looking at the light from within, of course. I'm not looking at nothing else. I'm too old for that. Their suits, this is the first thing I realized. Their suits are conscious. Their suits are consciousness itself. So it's not really a material, I don't feel. I think it's a representation of what comes from out of them. So whatever vibration or evolution they're at is what they will wear. So yeah, but the suit looks like it's a part of them. So it's actually their body, not just material of some sort. That's what it looked like to me. And it also through like see, this is the hard part. How do you say what colors they are? Because they're nothing like what we see here. But it was like a multicolored, like a multifacet. Not so much, it was a light, but it was like a moving light. When you see smoke or light moving, reflecting on the water, it was like that as well. And they just came in and said, hi. That's all they said.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi,
just
what? Who are
passing,
you?
just passing
Just
through.
passing through the universe. So But they were my very, very first. So that was
So cool.
I wasn't really ready for that because it was immediate. Like I didn't get an announcement, I didn't have a dream, I didn't get a warning, by the way, you're going to do this. They just came walking in. So the only thing I can think of, they were either on ship or they were just coming through reality and just walking through. Open the doorway, in they come. And I think it was more they just walked in because it's the way they came in like a group.
Yeah, but they
And
wanted you to see them. Like
yeah, for sure.
yeah, because it's
Yeah,
activating, right?
yeah, very.
Hmm.
And that was my thing. I wanted to see them like physically. And that's what started for me. When I was really, it wasn't just like an egoic child going, I just want to see aliens. It was my heart's desire was to reconnect, like completely. I knew I was here for something and I needed them to start showing me why, what's going on.
Were
So,
the Pleiadians good looking?
yes, very pretty,
Were they tall? Like
very
real
pretty,
tall?
very tall. I'm like, I don't know if they were like 8, 9 foot tall. They were tall, really tall. Like to me, where they came in, they were in my room, but I realized that their energy just kept going, and I went, mate, you're really tall, like massive looking energetically as well. So, but
Do the
beautiful.
pictures do them justice that we see on the
Um,
internet?
Not really. Not really.
Mhm.
I think they look slightly different to that. I think they're more porcelain looking in their skin. So their skin's very luminous. But I think too, by what I've experienced, I think there's a different collective Palladian. I think there's the collective itself. And then I think when they leave, like either their planet, because their planet's very bright, just like they are. Their planet looks like they do. It's bright, it's crystally looking, it's super, super light. And I wonder that when they leave their planet, and they go on ship or they travel like that they become luminous, and that's how they travel. So I think their consciousness is how they move around. It's not like us hopping on the bus, you know what I mean? I think they
Uh,
consciously shift that way, and they are stunning. Like you really couldn't make an image of them, I think, because of how beautiful I saw them. That collective anyway, when they came in together, of how beautiful they are, like stunning, beyond supermodel beautiful. You just
wow.
couldn't really draw it, you know what I mean?
But they can
Mhm.
shapeshift and do exactly how they want to look.
Well,
So,
I want to do that too. I want to
you know,
shapeshift
hey,
as well. Now I'm
that's where
57.
we're going. That's
Yeah.
where we're headed through this
We are
shift.
heading to there.
Yep.
We definitely are. Absolutely. And I've seen them, some of the work they've done on me over time and not that long ago. So late last year, middle last year, somewhere, they actually showed me what we will go to. And I was lying on the bed one day and my whole body, it was after group at 1 a.m. Do you remember 1 a.m.? 1 a.m. with group with you. And I went to lay down in bed, and next minute I thought I was losing my mind, you know. And here I am. I turned into this shimmering glitter light, my whole body. I'm like, that's got to be the future. That's got to be where we're heading.
Wow.
Like, I mean, it was weird. I was awake. I saw it come up my arms, like start to fill up, and I had no physical body. It was just a shimmering like glitter. Like it
Like
just
Twilight,
Twilight, yeah.
how the vampires, how they're shimmery. Maybe the lady from Twilight really had like a Pleiadian visitation and that's what she
She
was
might have.
seeing.
Yeah, I
I
never
think
thought of
that's
that.
the way
See?
it happens, like for
Yeah,
these
I think
movies and
so.
stuff.
Yeah, there's always that little bit of information, you know what I mean? So yeah, so they're literally by physically visiting, they're literally showing me timelines of the future of what's coming. So what we're going to look like, how we're going to feel. The Arcturians were the most physical. They were recent, they were last year. They're the most physical
When you say physical, do you
experience.
mean they are abusive? Just kidding.
No, they're not a smart ass like you. No, they're polite. Not like David Starr. No, they're like I'm looking at you. So they literally came physically
Don't they got the biggest blue heads?
massive. They're like balloons. I'm like,
Right?
how long does that head go on for? And they're
Uh,
pretty.
yeah, they are. Yeah.
They are beautiful. Like they're
Did the ones that you saw
oh
have like a jewel in their third eye?
yes,
Ah,
yes,
interesting.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
had that
think
like
that's
a
their
blue one?
travel.
Like a blue one?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
also seen like a unusual goldy color. Couldn't
Okay.
even say it's gold. Because like I said, how do you tell a color?
Hmm. I
It's
wonder if
nothing
that's like
like here.
a
It's hard to.
commander or something like that.
Yeah, it
I
could
haven't
be a high
I haven't
evolved.
seen a
Yeah,
golden.
Okay.
Two or
Well,
third eye.
one was his name's O'Rourke. He's the one that's preparing me. They told me I'm on a 6-month preparation for the future. So they're training and things like that. And then
It,
the other one that came only recently was an ambassador, and her name was Aria. And she's been before. She came about 2 years ago, right up to me. And they're preparing, they're changing, they're working, as they told me, they showed me, they took me out, physically took me out and showed me how they were working on my neurological system through my whole body to up the light body so that we can have contact
and are they
and move
doing
forward.
this like at night, right before you go to sleep, or right at sleep,
Yes.
like that
No,
moment
they always do it at
between
night time with me.
before sleep, but
Yep.
not in sleep, right?
Both. So I can just be lying there and they'll come in, so I can be awake. But then that moment, sort of just before, where you haven't gone to sleep, but you know
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
just
yeah.
relaxing down. Yeah, that state as
That's like
well.
the perfect time for
That
that.
is the perfect place
Yeah,
because that's
because you
almost,
remember it,
yeah,
and
gone.
it, well, because you'll remember it. It's easy to remember that. It's
Yeah, that's
because
right.
like
You're
it's
more
almost like
conscious.
you're like lucid, but you're
Yep,
still aware, right?
yep. Or then you don't think you're making it up or it's a dream.
Hmm.
You can't dismiss either way because you're partially awake. So
And then it's also the
yeah,
point where you can go astral body, out of body, and they can take you to their ship and
yes,
stuff too.
yeah, and that's what happened. They took me off. They
Hmm.
took me out. I've been on ship just recently, only a month or something ago.
Did they say what they're preparing you for?
Well, they're telling me that it's to do with why I'm here, so the mission work that I have, who I am, and they're also wanting me to be a speaker. So it's not that I'm ambassador and all those fancy words. It's just one who will deliver the information that they want while they're assisting humanity to
Well,
evolve.
that's what you're doing right now.
That's what I'm doing right now, pretty much, and
Yeah.
it's a big change. So what's happening for me is because they worked on me, I've gone from a lot of people's gifts are different. Some people hear things, telepathy within the mind. Some people hear it around them. I've had all that where they'll yell at me and cross above, like come shoom, straight over with their voice. Now, as part of the preparation, they're talking inside. And it's not all the time because they're still preparing my energy. I've got a little way to go. It's only been about 2 months, but I can feel them inside me like a radio loud. So when Orik or any of them come in, they want to talk, even others, they're talking internally right in the center of my core. So I'm
In the
literally a
heart, through the
radio
heart.
through the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they made that very clear because when they took me out, they also took me out to the universe or multiverse and they wanted me to connect to everything. They wanted me to feel what they feel and how they are, who they connect to, what they do, and what it feels like. I had to have the feeling. It wasn't just a hello, we're Arcturians.
So
They
you
wanted me to live it.
connected
Yeah.
to a collective consciousness then.
Yes. Yeah. The whole
And
collective.
and how did that feel?
I don't have enough words. Magnificent love beyond belief.
Mhm.
And a complete knowing of and feeling, because they want me to feel it, of how everything works, how everything is, how creation is. And they connect that way. They don't, it's not just technology with them or their collective. They are literally part of the multiverse within themselves. So everything they do is literally under the flow of source. There's no mistaking of what I felt from them. It was more than I thought. I thought they just maybe they're a bit like us, just more evolved. Maybe they
Well,
just channel, maybe they
we've
just
been
talk,
talking how
you know?
like everything's within, the universe is within.
Hmm.
Um, and what you're saying is basically that, but in a complete awareness, I guess.
Absolute awareness, an
Right.
inner knowing of how everything works, mathematically, geometry, sound, you name it. They are fully evolved into, so they're not just Arcturians as people think, they're actually creation itself. They know it. They know exactly who they are. There's no mistake. They know that they are a collective, they are who they are, and they've evolved to that. But they also, when they communicate or they connect, you can feel it all around you that they are connected to creation.
I
It's
like a
like I
lot of
said,
people say the
it's amazing.
Arcturians are like an energetic collective consciousness, but
Yeah,
every time I see them, they always have physical bodies.
yeah,
Always. I never
yeah.
see them as energy. Like, and so
No,
to me, like, why would they take so much time and attention to make themselves appear to be physical in like these symmetrical bodies with like unless
Well, there
they
may be,
were,
is there
right?
different levels? Yeah, but there might be different, say, same as some of the others I've experienced. There's different levels to their consciousness and their own collective. So they're very different to us in that aspect. So there's different consciousness levels to them. And but they're not one collective, but they are in a way. So they feel the same, they think the same, they have individual understanding, but they are still a collective.
Well, I think
So,
I
you
think
know,
it's like from like the focus is on the unity consciousness, right? And
very much so. Yeah.
so their cares and their compassions as a species is
Yep.
considerate for everybody, right? And so
Everybody.
like
Yep.
everybody to rise, everybody to
Mm-hmm.
be taken care of. And I think that's where we need to
Yes.
come as a species on Earth is for
Yeah.
everybody to be taken care of, everybody to rise and to start
Yep.
thinking like a collective because everybody is God, right?
That's right. And that's how they see it. Everything
And that's
is
when we have more fun when we do
way more
that.
fun. Absolutely.
Why do people not work together? Because we're just cheating ourselves. We are cheating ourselves
Well,
by not working
yeah.
together.
Yeah, I agree. There's resistance, and the resistance is they are explaining to me as they're training me for 6 months. They told me it's about 6 months. They're trying to get us to understand, as which they understand, is that to have no resistance. So you're going to have to release your nature, your belief of yourself, even your genetic programming, your family bloodline, all of it, into non-resistance so that you don't have a nature that's willful, controlling, your way or the highway. You literally have to be in a flow. And that's what they are. They just flow with unity of creation itself, of God itself. They have no resistance. So they have a nature, but they don't have that resistance like we do, where we think we know everything or we're right about everything. And that's why people can't get into the unity. There has to be someone who thinks they're absolutely right about everything.
Ego.
Egoic, willful, resistant, sabotaging. You know what I mean?
That
So,
ego just takes control of
yep,
everybody
yep,
instead of just, losing your mind and going with the divine. I always say,
yeah, that's a good
stop
way
your
of putting it.
mind. Just stop even listening and just
Exactly,
let the divine take over.
absolutely. And that's what they have taught me in the last few years. Just let go of all resistance. And it doesn't mean you change and become non-human. It's just that you have an understanding that, yeah, the unity of God itself within you, of who you really are.
Do
You
you
know,
think that
it's
each
amazing.
galactic group is a different dimension of God?
Yeah, because their level of evolutional understanding will be created as such. So therefore, the level of understanding of how they feel connected to all things will be different. And they're evolving as well. So they're always rotating that idea. So they're moving forward. It'll depend on what they want to learn. It'll depend on their technology, and it'll depend on what they feel they're here for, what they're being created for. So, but a lot of them are. Look, to be honest, besides the negative polarity, I think we're one of the most resistant species that's here
Hmm.
in that creation that you're talking about, the most resistant. Even, to be honest, even the polarity side of it, they're very willful, they can be dark, they do all that jazz, but they still have an understanding of creation. That's the hard part to understand. Some of those still flow in creation, they just do it under their will. So their resistance is their willful, so they feel that they are outside of God. So their aspect is a bit fallen. But we are one of the most resistant. We really are. That's why we're not evolving really as rapidly as we should be. We've got a little bit of a brakes on idea at the moment, and that comes down to our nature. We're not letting go of who we are. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I think a lot of it too is like a few groups of people around the world have been suppressing people and conditioning and
Yeah,
programming them and
sure. Yeah,
creating fear and division and separation and
yeah, they
this,
have.
but
Yeah,
when this awakening comes into full gear, the consciousness level it's going to be such a forward
yeah.
that those illusions will start breaking away and more people will find this information because now there's so many of us, there's so much out there.
Oh, it's
It's a
flooded. Yeah,
it's just incredible, right? So
yeah.
like
But they
this
still got to let go of their own willfulness to be there. They're going to be from this 2025. There's a mirroring effect that I'm noticing that people are reverting backwards a little because the mirror of God's source energy is going to show you exactly where your willfulness is and why you're resisting. So they're going to almost go through the seeing of self until they see themselves as God. So that's what it is. Like you said, you got to let go. You go in the flow of all, and it's not easy for people because they don't know what it means. They go, well, what do I do now? I go, nothing. You live your life, enjoy, and you flow with that. You flow with that, what you want. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
It's
manifesting
true.
God a little bit,
Yeah.
it really is.
So true. Everything that shows up that's birthed into your reality is a direct reflection of where you are evolutionary wise and how far you're into your source consciousness and how
Yep,
aligned you are and embodied in your
absolutely.
source consciousness. So it's wild to see. And like when you can see in that perspective, like every day I'm seeing what's coming into my reality. And if something negative comes in, I'm like, okay, what am I still holding on to that I
Yep,
need to
yep,
release? Because
yep.
this could not come into my reality if it wasn't
No.
my vibration reflecting to me what I need to heal.
Yeah, unless no, I'll agree with you, but I can also disagree
Yeah.
because your evolved state of consciousness is, and these words are just words. So then, highly evolved, they're just words. We don't know what else to call them. But your state of consciousness, really, if you think about it, if these negative polarities or these people or situations coming in, not necessarily mean that you are unhealed. Because I know your vibration and I know that you've done a lot of work. So you
Yeah.
would pretty much be complete, perhaps. You know what I mean? There's a completion for a lot of us. I'm wondering if a lot of it is just, again, it's the mirror aspect. So your completeness of who you are and the connection to God's source energy is the representation. So therefore, it's going to show those that come around you or situations, people and otherwise, what they need to do to heal, not what you need to do to heal.
I love that.
Because
That's much better. That is
you're
much
very,
better.
if you think about what you believe and who you are, like seriously, if you think about, David Starr, pretty much complete, if not already complete, not sure. But if you think about where you're at in your completion of understanding who you are and why you're here and what you're connected to, therefore, I call it almost a completion. So therefore, it would be impossible for you to have to heal something because of a polarity or a density or somebody that's coming around you. You would be a representative.
So we're basically guiding them when they come in. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
pretty
I
much.
wasn't, that sort of had me confused like
Yeah.
today because I never have anything negative come in. And
No.
I had three negative things come in today and
Right.
I was
Why
like, what
what?
the heck is going on? Is there
Yeah.
something like, I'm
No.
really,
Well, it's
thinking
the
deep.
great works. It's the great revealing. So
Yeah.
people like us, and there's many, many people in the same place, if not maybe more evolved, we are going to see the reflection of what's yet to come, what they have to go through to get to where they're going to go to. So unfortunately, that's the hard job that we have, is we are a reflection. We will reflect to you. If you cannot be around the light within us, it'll reflect to you that which you are yet to face. That's just the way, that's universal law. It's how it's going to be. So we're not saying that we are perfection or we're better than or anything like that. It's just we are a reflection of that which you are not yet. But you can be if you let go. So you're going to get resistance. This 2025, you're going to see it. Like it's going to be around you. You're going to see people, you're going to lose people, you're going to have situations like you're having today. So rather than, and this is a good lesson, rather than seeing it as, am I unhealed? What am I not doing? Release that because that's unnecessary for you because of where you are. See it as, what is it that they need to have revealed? What is it that they do not know yet or not are accomplishing yet? Okay, so you just light up and you just be you and you walk in that plasma boom and you just allow it to be there. There's not much you can do about it because you can't force your will on that. So you either leave it or you just accept it and see it as it is, and that's it. It's not for you to do
Boundaries have
anything
to
other.
get like way
Boundaries
stricter
are going to
right
be
now.
huge.
Oh my
Oh,
God. I think that is the
don't
theme
even
for
get me started.
2026.
Oh yeah,
I've had to tighten up because I'm triggering
yep.
people left and right.
So am I. So am I. But that's our job. It's not that we like,
Yeah.
we're not, it's not a triggering per se to show them their imperfection that they are not accomplishing or not arriving or don't deserve.
hmm
It's just the ideal of The love within you, because the brightness within you, because I know who you are, is showing them yet where they need to be. And they may not be able, because it's under their free will to accept the unity or to come into God creation. So if they are not yet prepared or not able to, that is on for them to decide. So there's not
Mhm.
much you can do. Sometimes, there's moments where you will have to walk away. That's
Well,
just how
plus
it's going
there's
to be.
there's a big gap on the in the spectrums right now of
Huge,
consciousness.
huge gap. Yeah.
Um, some of the newly awakened people that are coming online when
Mm-hmm.
they call upon you are really buried deep in these old constructs
Very
of
much.
density and polarity that we've
Yep.
had to clear within ourselves.
Yep.
And so then as a healer, it's like, okay, you got to lift it up, you got to clear it. And this is
Mm-hmm.
where like all these things like sacred space and clearing and grounding and
Yep.
connecting and
Yep.
is so important because
Very.
it's like pieces of density energies flying off of clients as they're
Yep.
awakening and they don't have any idea. They don't
No,
know. And so
they don't even
this,
see it.
this is what
Yeah,
we didn't even realize about ourselves before we did all this inner work and everything that we had all of
that's right.
this, right? And so it's
That's
like
exactly right.
we definitely got to have some compassion. There's like
Yep.
like when we're talking about reflections on consciousness, one of the biggest mistakes is always thinking that somebody has done all of that healing up to your level.
That's right.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
It's not, no. No,
You put them on this
no.
crazy pedestal right off the bat,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
likely they haven't even done their shadow work, in a
No,
lot of
not at all.
cases, right? Even
No, not at
there's
all.
even some people in the community that have been doing this for 20 years haven't done their shadow work.
No, they have
You know
not.
what I mean? And so it's like,
No. But it's not a
Crazy.
judgment, it's just a fact, because I can tell you how you realize that with them is that, again, like I said, an old nature will come out, an old personality, something in the past that reflects it. And the amount of people have said to me, look, I've done shadow work, I've done this. And I'm like, what do you mean you've done that? You can't be complete yet because of you're here with this problem. So therefore you're not complete. But I've had a lot of people over the years, very evolved people that have not done any shadow work, but have told me that they are finished. They don't have to do it anymore. I'm like, well, that's layer one. There might be 1,000 underneath that you haven't even noticed yet, like
yeah.
seriously. But yeah, I like that. I like no, you haven't. No, you
And
haven't,
they're
because
still in a
you know,
cycle. It's crazy when
loop
they're
after
still
loop
stuck in the loop and they're like
going over. Yep.
trying to give advice. And I'm just like, I would never take advice from someone in a loop.
No, me
Like
neither. No,
I won't
no,
take advice from many. They have to be
no, me
like,
neither. Yeah,
yeah, they
there's
have to
only
be like
like, they're on one hand for
you're
me.
like the
Yeah.
coolest person on the
Oh,
planet.
Dita.
I would
Yeah.
listen to you, but it's
Yeah.
rare that
Yeah.
I would
No, I don't
listen.
go and get work or readings from people unless
Yeah, me
they've got to
either.
be where I am. Yeah. Otherwise, what happens is that they will then, unfortunately, they don't understand it. It's not their fault, but they will project their nature into the information for me. So
Yep.
it won't align. It won't be the
Yeah.
truth that I need.
They're trying
So
to plant bad seeds without even knowing
yeah.
it. And if you
No, they
buy
don't
into
know.
those seeds, they're going to bloom. So you have to watch who you're
Yeah.
getting readings from. I would
Yep.
definitely recommend you.
Yep.
I even like buy people birthday presents of getting
Yep.
readings with you because
Yeah,
like it's
that's
like the
true. Yeah,
best
she has
gift
been.
ever.
Happy birthday,
Um,
go to Mirantha. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you're one of the only people I would ever go to, like just
Thank
to,
you.
And if you ever got that birthday
yeah.
present from Fran, you know that you have some inner work that she was trying to help
Yeah.
you to clear.
She's not
Say
going happy
that.
birthday. She's
Don't
going
say
happy
that.
birthday. But by the way,
I'm just
here's your
kidding.
evolution wrapped up in a pretty bow. It's like that's
Isn't that so
exactly
funny?
what happens.
Okay,
That's
so
hilarious.
who on my friends list really could use a clearing? Happy birthday.
They're like block. They were like block. Damn,
The
mom's got me
chronic
evolving.
ones that come to everybody in the community. I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
gift you Mirantha this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Get
She's
this
going to
per
awaken you.
let's get this person off my back
Uh,
for a few months
yeah.
here. Happy
Yeah. That's like she's
birthday.
just bypassing. Here, you can
Hey,
have these
why are
ones.
you coming to me 10 times a day when I just got you this birthday present?
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my God. And I will be the one that'll awaken you. I think what it is that, like when I've read you, multiple times, my desire is to give you the truth. My
Yes.
desire is not to appease you, to make you feel special, not to put you here. My
You
thing
make
is
me feel special though every
I
time
want
you do
you
a
to know who
reading.
you are.
I
Yeah, I
feel
want you to be
super
aware.
special.
Yeah, I want you to know this is who you are. Don't worry about what anyone else is saying. This is the truth. This is why you're here and who you are. And that's in a blessed position. I call it the ordained because it is an ordaining. So it's
Yeah.
very, you do get ordained, and people like us, we don't come in just for the evolution. We're an ordained consciousness that is here for a specific reason, and it's not just for the evolution, it's for many things. Many
Yep.
things. So, yeah.
So that's so true. What do you think your main mission here is if you would have to like narrow it down on a
God,
global scale?
I got a list. Um, well, definitely, if I look at just start with the galactic side, it is to make people unafraid and aware that this of who we are connected to and where we're from, a lot of us, is real, and they are real, and they are coming. They've already told me 2032, but I don't might be a little sooner, but they told me, I told Dave when I first met him, 2032, what do you think of that? Because they told me there's a shift in the consciousness of something big, something that will make us no longer doubt. There'll be a
I
few
love
that'll
it.
stay where they are, but they're non-doubting Thomas part of us. And look, to be honest, my mission is a divine feminine. I am a divine feminine. I hate saying these words because it sounds like I'm a knobhead, but
Well, words fail us, but we
they
can
do. But
only say
the
it as,
leadership of the divine
yeah,
feminine, that's who I am.
I
I've
love
had
that.
many evolutions of that consciousness of leadership and divine feminine. So my role is that's why they're awakening me now in the probably since I met David, to tell the honest truth. It changed then for me. When I met him, he was the one that made me believe in myself and popped me open and went, this is who you are, start doing. So so my mission really is to bring the divine feminine leadership into the consciousness, because that's where some of the failings have happened. Some of the divine feminine aspects have dropped their position and they've forgotten who they are, so they're a little bit aggressive and not bringing in the truth.
So are you
So they're
recruiting, like, are you looking to help um some of the divine feminines out there to find their voice?
yeah,
Because if there's
absolutely.
one
Yeah.
thing that has been absolutely brutal that I've seen, like
Mm-hmm.
from past lives and like even like aliens that came to the
Yep.
earth, was their suppression of the divine feminine, like how
Absolute
they would
suppression.
actually go out of their way to like rewrite them out of history,
Yep.
so then it
Yep.
suppresses them that way. And
Yep.
also in all of the brutalities that happened, there were
Yep.
so many brutalities.
Oh, huge.
It was
Beyond
just
belief.
disgusting, right?
It
And
was
so
disgusting.
like somewhere in consciousness there's this fear of speaking
Mm-hmm.
for the divine feminine, because in
Yep.
a lot of lives you get killed for it
Oh,
or
you'll get,
brutally
and then
murdered,
some.
and like different
Mm-hmm.
things would happen, and it was just horrible. And so
Yep.
it's like, but how do you heal that if people don't even know that they have that in them to heal?
Well, I've got a thing coming up soon, which will be on YouTube, to do with Amir, of who I am and why I'm here. This is the big step for me of the awakening of who I am, and people are not aware of. So one of the roles that I had, which you are aware of, is in Egyptian times where I was. I was literally buried and rolled up in a cloth and hidden away. So my role, because of the leadership I had at that time, my role now is to come back into that empowerment of who I am and be the representation of the divine feminine. So I don't have to change anyone. I don't have to bring them up and out. You just, like Francesca's doing, we probably had that lifetime together, I'm sure, where we just are. We are just the divine feminine. And the more we awaken within us and let go and accept that and be that, the more those around us who are meant to be connected to the divine feminine for the same type of roles, they'll just automatically awaken. They will start walking. They will start healing. They will start evolving, and they will start dealing with what they got to deal with. So it's like the more we speak, the more we open our mouth, the more we share who we are and do what we're here to do as that divine feminine, because we literally are a walking creation of Mother God.
Yep.
That's the bit that's
That's
going to
it.
shock people
Bingo.
of who we are,
Bingo.
right? So we are just we literally are Mother God. And
Yep.
that's the awakening that's about to happen that people are going to find out. So our frequency of who we are and the knowledge we have and what we're going to share and what we're going to speak of that's been unheard of, has not been heard yet or been remembered, that is the awakening itself. So our voice, every word we use, every action, the knowledge we share, even our light language and everything is already programmed with Divine Mother. So therefore, we already will awaken them naturally. And
And
they
I
Do
will
you
make that
think
also,
that
choice.
sorry, I was going to
Oh,
ask, do you think the masculines are embodying the Divine Father? Do you think that's
um,
what's occurring too, or just everybody? I know that
I
that's
think
like
it's a union.
that's what I think too. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I've channeled. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's
okay.
yeah.
there was like
Yep.
a client I had today, and I've been working with this person for many, well, over a year anyway, and done a lot of one-on-one sessions. And
Mhm.
Christ came to me and he says, I want you to see him like a flower. See him like a flower, but a galactic flower, like a flower of the stars. Visualize him like a flower of the stars. And what does he need to open?
Mhm.
And I saw these two flowers coming up that were his masculine, and this one flower that was like, and he was like a third in his divine feminine. And so
Yep.
we actually opened up a past life, funny enough, in Egypt,
Wow. Yep.
to a
Egypt.
goddess energy
Mhm.
that was related to old Terra system.
Right.
Um, all of like the Ra and like the Horus lines came
Mhm.
from old Terra.
Yep.
And so we actually got today some information that the whole human creation, like the Eves that came over from old Terra, they were
Yep.
seeded to preserve the race with the
Yes.
genetics, and then
That's right.
so the souls could come over here during the
Yep.
whole universal harmonic frequency 2 being
Yep.
imploded or basically
That's right.
destroyed, right? And
Yep.
so this goddess that he was, it was the first time I actually seen Ra in a past life, and I'm like, whoa,
Mhm.
okay, cool. But she just opened up this huge feminine energy in him, huge.
Yep.
And I think, and for myself too, I have gone through tremendous feminine healing even within myself,
Yeah, you
in
have.
past lifetimes
Yep.
and in this lifetime as well.
Yep.
And so I think it's important for the masculines out there as well to come into their feminine heart, because that's where your gifts are, your clairs are. Like a lot
Mhm.
of your clairs are in that feminine energy. And you have a lot to heal in your consciousness related to it because of all these past
Yep.
lives and the brutalities and the different things that happen to
Mhm.
you when you're a female, or vice versa
Yep.
when you're a male doing that to a female.
Yep.
And I think the more and more people that heal that within themselves, um, the more union we come in as a collective.
For sure.
The
Because they got
inner
to rise
heroes
together.
Gamos.
Yep. Heroes Gamos. They got to rise together. Otherwise, there's an inharmony, and that's the problem. There's an inharmony here on this planet,
Hey,
let alone
there's been
outside of.
such a big harmony, but like a
Yeah.
lot, no, I'm not saying humanity isn't responsible for a good percentage of
No.
it,
No.
but there
No.
has been a lot of outside forces that have been
Huge.
influential on that and everything.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
that's awesome that you're working on leading that
Divine
journey.
Mother.
And so
Yep.
for people who don't know about you, can you share a little bit about what you do? And
Yep.
we can share your contact information in the
Yep.
podcasts and stuff. And
Okay.
so people will be able to
Yep.
reach out if they want to book sessions or join events, or if you
Yep.
want to,
Sure.
be great to
Yep.
hear.
Well, I call myself a universal channel, and that's mainly because of my mission and who I am and why I'm here takes me into all parables. So I'm able to do whatever they literally take me in to do. So as a universal channel, I work right from the center of source itself. I'm literally a prime creator. So therefore I can do anything. So if you want a reading, healing, light language, channeling teams, guides, connections to source, I can take you home to source. I can take you anywhere in the universe that they say that you need to be in order to heal. So I call myself a multi-channel mainly because when I work, I don't have an idea of what I'm going to do because it's not under my instruction, it's not under my will at all. I don't have any say. So therefore, if someone comes and sees me it's a bit like what you guys do. When they come and see me, I will be told in that moment what needs to be done, regardless of what they're asking for when they come in. So even if they're coming for just a moment to have a reading or something like that, that may change. They may receive what they didn't realize they needed. So I'm pretty much just an open source channel. So I'm guided in the moment that someone comes to me. But that will involve language, or it'll involve galactics, or it'll involve, higher consciousness beings of light. It depends on what is required. Most people that come and see me are coming to evolve. They're not coming for simple little things. They're coming to heal and they're coming to evolve. So I awaken. My energy awakens them. Even if it's just a conversation, my energy is working. It's not, even if you're just sitting around joking and laughing with me, I'm working. My energy is working. So I'm never
This
off.
podcast is healing people like right now with like the
Continually.
things that you've
Yeah, I can
said.
see it. I
Yeah.
can see the bubbles running around me of consciousness filled with symbolisms and knowledge and things like that for whatever's required. So
That is
yeah,
so fascinating. Like,
yeah, it is.
and you have such evolved gifts. It's
Thank you.
unbelievable, really.
Yeah, well, I'm open, so I just accept. I don't have any restrictions on that. I've been through the years of not knowing, but not anymore. Even if I'm
What-
not sure, I just let go and I trust. You know what I mean? I don't have any doubt about that side of it.
So how
What-
can
Well, go ahead. You go
sorry.
ahead. I've been
Yeah.
talking a lot.
Yeah, just
It's us girls getting together. Don't worry about him. This is a girls' chat. It's a
Yeah.
girls' group. He's just one of the girls. You'll be right.
I just have so
Well,
many questions.
I do
Yeah, go for it.
have a white wig. It's long. It kind of looks like a
Oh,
girl,
I
but
saw that.
the
I'm like,
wizard.
hey, how come we don't get the wizard? How come only the kids get that? Where's it? Well, I think you should do one for the adults. I think we could have some fun.
Yeah. But
Harry Potter us.
I'm thinking like, okay, so you have all these ETs that are tuning you for a very specific mission. This
Yep.
podcast likely will be listened to by many different people over the years, that more and more and more will come and
Yep.
they'll hear this. So
Yep.
let's just put it like, let's say we're warped in 2 years or 1 year. How can you feel that this podcast could align you with your divine mission? And if people hear you and they want to reach out to you, even if it's 2 years into the future, what would you suggest? Like, how would you like to present that?
How can they contact me? Is that what you're asking? Or
Well, yeah, in a way, yeah,
okay.
definitely asking
That was
that.
a complicated question.
It's had like how many answers do you want, brother? Jesus Christ. Look, if they want to reach out to me and make contact privately, yeah, they
'Cause,
can
like,
email if they want to. Have I not got my email up there? I thought I did. It's mir2115@hotmail.com. Yeah, so and I can just send them links and a booking link or something like that, and they can go through and choose their own desired day, time, etc. I've left it open a bit like that because of the world clock. Around the world it's hard to line up. I'm in Australia, so some countries are harder to line up with me than others, like the UK. So I've left it open and they can choose a time. At
you have
least
a
then they can go.
Calendly link too, right?
It's a Calendly link system, yeah, through
Yeah.
Zoom. I
So,
found that was just easier. But if
for
they
the-
want to evolve and they want to find out who they are, yeah, come and see me.
so
I
you're
will take
doing
them
one-on-one
places,
sessions and you're doing group
one-to-one.
events,
Yeah, I'm open for group events.
and
Even
then
if they want to, do meditation or they just want to come as a group, I'm happy to do group session where they can all ask questions and receive the same as a one-on-one. Yeah, I'm open to everything. I do light language as well, so I'm very good. I'm not a light language professional, not a linguist, but it's a love and I have an ability to open people's language. So if they want to come and experience light language and connect to their teams, I'm happy to do that as well.
And do you have a Facebook page that you're promoting right now that you want us to put in the links as well?
Probably just my Mirantha O'Rourke, and at the moment it's Diamond of Divinity, which could change again. Who knows? They were talking about that yesterday, and again, because as I change, everything changes. So yeah,
As you
Mirantha
evolve,
O'Rourke.
everything
As I
evolves.
evolve, everything evolves. So
You're
I
no
started
longer
out
a
as,
diamond, now you're
I'm not a diamond. Like,
you're
what's
the
after that? What level would I go to there? Like, oh
yeah.
my
It's a
God,
new
I need a
name.
new
I had a
badge.
client tell me there's a new crystal today, and I was like, what? And she's
What?
like, there's a higher energy than diamond. We're not aware of it yet. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that's so funny
I
you
believe
said
that.
that.
Yeah, I believe
Such a
that. Seeing the
crazy
change.
thing.
Well,
Yeah,
golden
seeing change.
source and alpha omega are higher than diamond. Like,
Yeah, well, I might have to omega myself somewhere or something.
omega.
The omega one. I don't know. God knows with me.
Mirantha
It'll be something
O'Rourke
out the box.
Omegas.
The omegas, the divine omegas or
Or
something.
you could just be Prime. You could just be straight Prime. You can go,
Stuff it. Just go straight to Prime. Why muck around?
I'm
Yeah. Ain't got
Mirantha
time to muck
Prime.
around.
Facebook.com/Mirantha Prime.
But Prime. Optimus Prime. I'm gonna be Optimus Prime. I love that movie.
She's
It's
part of the
crazy.
Transformers. Her creators.
I was
Transformers.
thinking the same thing. Because
I
we
will
are
transform your life.
transforming. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
Isn't that-
transform you. Oh, hilarious. Oh my God.
So, would you say, if you had a message for humanity, what's your greatest advice for humanity?
I have a list if you want it. I think probably the
Yes,
biggest thing
please.
at the moment is to let go,
I love that.
because resistance only creates sabotage and war and disharmony. So
What
everything
thought
reflects
could
it.
you tell people to let go? Do you have any practice you can tell people to do,
Yeah.
or something
Um,
simple?
David Starr, spiritual hygiene. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, look, the way I guide people is the less words the better. It's a feeling.
Okay.
So if you can get out of your mind and go into your heart and allow that existence, allow yourself to lay in there without taking the mind in with you, then that will be easier. It's a process. It's not, some people can happen straight away. I've had people let go immediately, but other people will take longer depending on what the trauma, what they've been through. You know what I mean? If they've been very hurt, betrayed, been through a lot of harm or war, through generations and off-world type things, it takes them a little longer to let go of that because they're hurt and damaged. But generally, it's a feeling. So our role is to give them the feeling that we know we have within us, so they get to experience it. Because human beings, words can fail them a little because it's too much information. They will reject it or they just can't take it all on. It's a place you take them. So it's a bit like the Arcturians teach me. You take them to the place so they can feel it. So you take them out of their mind, out of themselves, and put them somewhere peaceful where they don't have to think anymore.
You
So they
go
get
into the
that 1
feeling.
second, you go into the feeling. And
The
then
feeling's
that's the
so big.
awakening. Oh,
I
it's
think
huge.
people fail to do that. They think it's the thoughts.
No,
It's getting
no.
into the feeling state
Yeah.
brings
It's a
it, bursts
non-conscious
it.
consciousness, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. You know what I mean? It's a place where everything exists, but nothing about you exists as you know yourself as a human. So it's a feeling. It's a place we sit in that where we can just be in a moment of not having to be ourselves.
Well, could it even be like where we already exist in and we just forgot?
Yep.
You know,
Just
like
forget. Yeah, we do.
our
We've
heavenly
forgotten all.
aspect or a
Yes.
crystalline self in the
Yep.
crystalline dimensions, or like
That's right.
we are
Our
And they're all the
all.
places
non-physical
that remind
energies
us.
in every
Yeah.
dimension.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's right.
actually seen this really cool thing in a one-on-one session, and it was like the ascended realms. And so the ascended realms are where all the ascended masters are hanging out, essentially,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And it's more spectrum, more light. And so the way they look on Earth is way less in light than
Yep.
when they are in the ascended realms. It's like wide open,
Yep.
all these new
It is wide
colors,
open.
all these new
Mm-hmm.
frequencies and everything. So
Yep.
I
Yep.
think like we are opening up to these new, or these energies that we forgot, these
Yep.
dimensions, and
Yep.
so it's like
Yeah. It is a remembrance, but
you
it
are
comes with
you're
a
taking
feeling.
them,
So
yeah, you're taking them into the feeling and a lot of home, of
of
love,
knowing. Yeah.
of being
Yep.
free, you know.
Being
Yep.
God,
Yep.
basically, if
Yep.
you
And that
get
yeah,
down
that's
to the
right.
core of it.
It is. And it's a non-judgmental type existence. It isn't, once you experience that feeling or remembering, as we like to call that, you'll never forget it. It's something you'll hold on with your dear life, basically, and want more. And that wanting more and desire to be there is what will help you to let go. That'll help you find that place. So, but it's a
Amazing.
process. Yeah. You really got to let go of that egoic nature of who you think you are
Let it
on all
go.
levels. Let it go. Oh God, don't sing that song. That song
Hey,
went on for
Elsa had
years.
it right the whole time.
It's gonna
She
be in
was
your
trying
head
to tell
now.
everybody.
Oh, that song will sit in my head all day. Thanks a lot.
I love that movie.
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
yeah,
So I
beautiful.
got a question for the rapid fire questions. I think Fran's
Okay.
got a lot, but
I
based
don't have a
on
lot yet, but we
Yeah,
can
but
make
she
them up
will.
as we go along.
Yeah.
all right. So if you were a galactic suit, what would you
Yep.
look like?
I would be probably the purest, whitest, sparkly glitter ray you could ever experience. And I would
Like
shimmer and I would move and I would be fabulous.
so everybody would just be blinded when they see it. Like, ah!
They'd be blinded by my magnificence. And they'd be
So
like, damn, she's shiny.
you're
I'd be
like
my own disco ball.
you go and visit somebody in their sleep, and they'd be like,
Yep.
ah!
God damn it, Mirantha, stop stalking me in my sleep.
Is that a
Like,
ship?
I'm so pretty.
No, it's Mirantha. She's
I'm
just
so pretty.
beaming.
I am beaming like a big mirror ball. Like a big mirror ball.
I love
Glistening.
that.
Yeah.
Next question. What's your theme song?
Oh, well, I have many because I love music and I listen to a lot of music. People go, "Do you listen to that at your age?" I said, "Yes, I do." And you don't want to know the half of it. But today it was Bruno Mars, 24 karat gold.
Love that. Everything
Head to toe.
golden.
Everything golden. Funny enough. Yeah.
Yes. And your gold wings and golden
And my
halo.
gold wings. Yeah. I'm a shiny baby.
That's perfect. All right, here's another one. If your home planet had a tourist trap, what hilariously overrated attraction would it feature?
Does it involve nudity? No, I'm kidding.
Sure, it can involve whatever you want.
It would be doorways. It would be doorways of light so that when you walk through, you could release everything you are in that moment and be feeling your most joyful, beautiful self.
Wow, you just blew my mind because we
Yeah,
should do that in like an event,
you
doorways
should.
of light.
Yeah,
You should, I
walking
mean,
through.
like we
Yeah,
should,
yeah,
yeah, I
walking
love
through
that.
doorways. Yeah,
Maybe
doorways
that's
of
one of
light.
your quantum techniques, sort of like when
Could
the
be.
in the first days when, the Galactics were pulling out all of our false conditioning, that was like
Yep,
phase one. But
it
there could
was.
be
It
like,
could be a doorway, right?
yeah,
You
a
could walk
doorway
through
to
and
do.
everything just falls away and you
I
don't
love
have
that.
to work so hard anymore.
That would be
Mm,
like so cool. It would be
it
so
would be.
much easier than what we've had to deal with.
Years and years
David,
of
do you have
stuff.
another
Yeah.
one? Do you have another rapid fire?
Yes, I do. What
Yay.
percentage?
No.
What percentage of galactic are you versus
Oh.
versus human?
Oh, human. Or just
You
the
know,
galactic side? Oh,
no. If you say
I'd be
if you're
right up there.
100%, how much
Yeah, pretty
human
much.
versus galactic are you?
Oh, now I would say I'm probably 99% galactic.
Yeah.
I'd be 100% really, but I'm still informed because I've got things to finish here as my mission work. But I'm pretty full galactic and other things. So yeah,
Cool.
in the last 12 months for sure. Thanks to full embodiment. No, I'm kidding. Just a plug. Embodiment
That is a
3.
David Starr course that you can find.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
that you can find.
On
Now
David Starr on
featuring the
Windows.
children's course.
Yeah, which I'm really disappointed he hasn't done one for us adults. I think he should do one after.
Yeah.
We
You
need
know
some
what?
fun too. I want to
Honestly,
dress up.
I think
We could come in our own
I got the
outfits.
wand here, so
Yeah, I saw that.
see how it
Mr.
bleeps.
Pointy. Yeah, Mr. Pointy, Mr. Bossy.
And there's this little hat here. I didn't wear this one for the kid story because it wasn't big enough for my big head.
Oh, God love us. It's
Oh
beautiful,
my
isn't it?
God.
Jeez
Bless your
Louise.
heart.
I'll say. Can we be nice about that? This can go on the blooper reel. He's so pretty and so sparkly. He looks like a
I
court
believe in
jester.
wishes. I believe in wishes.
Oh, you believe, all right. We believe in you. Oh my God, take it off. You're mad.
I have another one.
Yep.
You're invited to a hybrid human starseed talent show. What is your act? What would you be doing?
Again, it's not nudes, right? God.
Please, you can say whatever
Are
you
you like
want.
are you a galactic stripper? Is that what's going on
I
here?
think I might be. What would my act be? Oh shit. It would have to be something crazy because I'm not normal. So I can see them putting like big multi-facet stars on everybody to awaken them. So it's an evolution. My act's about shifting evolution so that everyone can just be the star they are. I told you it's going to be weird. It's not going to be normal. And I'm not going to be like David Starr and have a wand. It's going to be way, way past wand stage. It's going to be something strange. Yeah, probably my act, especially galactically, it would be no Mirantha. It'd have to be a bit showy. So I'd probably be not only sticking stars in people so they evolve, but I would be the invisible man.
What's your favorite guide? Do you have a favorite guide, like a go-to guide?
Not really. No. I don't have anything in particular. To be honest, it's source energy.
Yeah, me too.
So if I want, they are always around me. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes which they come and go anyway. But quite often, like at the moment, they're very, very rarely around. So because
You're
they're
like
evolving as well.
TSA.
Yeah.
You're like
So I just go
TSA of the
straight
spirit
to.
world.
Yeah.
Like
I
they just
call
come
them.
in and out
Yeah.
and
They come in and out. So if it's Arcturians, they'll just ding ding and they come and we'll have our time. But it varies. Probably, I think I like Pleiadians because I've had a Pleiadian incarnation because they're a bit crazy like me. I call
I
them
love
sugar
them.
people. The sugar people. They make everyone giggle, laugh, and completely lose their minds like crazy. So I like them because that's the part of me that will raise the joy.
I
They're the
can
ones
see
that are
that.
joyful. Yeah,
I
they're
can see
shiny.
a lot of Pleiadian energy
Yeah.
like channeling through you.
Oh, I'll say goodbye. Thank you everyone for having me, and thank you for allowing me to traverse and share who I am and why I'm here. And yeah, if you want to make contact, you have my email and you have my booking link. So do message Mirantha. She's always available.
Definitely
Always message Mirantha.
message her. Your
So
life
thank
will
you. It's been an
change.
honor. Yeah, your life will change.
Everything golden.
Finding your greatest love, your highest adventures, the joy that brings you into the paradise life that you've always wanted to be living. It all starts with you and going deep inside.
Everything golden.
Featuring Francesca Rose and David Starr, where miracles come true every